coming up.
I am so against student sections being on this list. You look so shocked right now.
I feel like
who ends up being number one out of all this?
there's only one option. There's only one option. And number one.
Signal Sports Hot 10 is brought to you in part by Total Woman Gym and Day Spa and Nissan of Valencia.
Hi, I'm Dan Sturkle, General Manager of Nissan of Valencia, home to the $99 down delivers. Nissan of Valencia loves Santa Clarita, and we love sports. That's why we have donated thousands of dollars to our local schools and their athletic departments, including thousands in scholarships and even a brand new car to help keep kids in school. Nissan of Valencia has extremely competitive pricing on all our Nissan models, including the 38 miles to the gallon 2013 Altima. We also have a great selection of pre-owned vehicles with very aggressive pricing. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Hope to see you soon here at Nissan of Valencia.
Okay, so Kerry's not here today. He's sick. Obviously a case of the karma for not putting Brady White on top of last week's list.
Yikes. That's harsh.
I'm here. I'm healthy.
We're just kidding. We all like Kerry. But what?
Get better soon.
Get better soon, Kerry. Get better soon. Nominations for this week.
I'm just curious to see how you're going to get Brady White number one without Hart having played, but I'm sure that'll come.
We'll get to that. Brady White's teammate, Davis Copenhaver, signs with Duke this week. That's a big deal.
Yeah, school, yeah.
If you had to choose any school in the country you could go to for college, Duke has to be near the top of that list.
Yeah.
Dan, if you had to choose anywhere in the country, where do you go?
That's a tough one. Because it's like, do I care more about the academics or the success of the sports programs? I would say, I hear University of Texas is a pretty good party school, and Austin's a cool town.
And Dan likes to party.
That's right.
All right, so we got Davis Copenhaver. Speaking of wide receivers, Nick Jones, 232 yards last week in the loss for Valencia. Who's the best wide receiver in the SEV right now?
That's a great question.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
I mean, right now, I would say Nick Jones.
Based on one game?
Yeah.
In a
based on that
game.
Based on that game.
Well, he had 230 yards receiving in the game last year, 220, and then 232 in this game.
And 3 touchdowns.
I mean, it depends where we're going. We're just going by stats these games, or are we going by who's the best wide receiver?
Who's the best wide receiver,
If you're
period.
going best mechanics of wide receiver, Trent Irwin, I'm still putting in there, even if he hasn't put up the 230-plus yard game.
You've seen Liam Cabrera
You've got the
play
Cabrera brothers.
Yeah, I haven't seen those guys yet this year.
They're quick, they're fast. There's some good wide receivers right now. I'd say that
to settle that.
Several of them, he's pretty good as well. I'd say several of them might be on this list in the end. You've got Albert Einstein.
First win of all time. Varsity level.
How impressive is it? I haven't been around very long.
I will say this. For a school starting at 11-man, this is only their second game. I was impressed that they scored 22 last week. To score 42 points, I don't care who you're playing. I was impressed by that offense. Given the lack of history, that's impressive.
That team does have a cool story too. I mean, they decided to play 11-man because their former head coach passed away last year. So that's why they're deciding to stick with 11-man, even though there's only 20 players on that team.
And his son is now the quarterback.
Yeah. Any more nominations that you see?
I'm going to say one. COC football. I know this community doesn't get behind COC football that much, but they beat number 4 in the state Saddleback on the road. I was at that game. That was a big win for them.
So do you put the whole football team, or do you choose either the coach, or do you choose a player?
Yeah,
where do you go?
It's Ted Isenda's first win as a coach, but it was truly not to be cliche. It was a team win though. There wasn't one guy that. So I would say the whole team.
I've got a few nominees actually. If we run down this list, Christian Parrish, West Ranch, a great game. Beat Knight on Friday night. People were talking about that.
West Ranch is 3-0.
Yeah,
they're number 6.
And we've kind of avoided them on this list. I think Christian Parrish cracks the top 10 and gets West Ranch some love on here.
Absolutely.
Another one, the Saugus football team in particular, the run game. We were talking last week about Reed Roop. Ends up not playing, and yet they still run all over Buena and win. I think it was 40 to 7, 45 to 7. And Lastly, I know Carrie isn't here to yell at me for saying this, but the Valencia student section and the Hart student section were going back and forth on Twitter all week.
Can I yell at you for saying
that?
that?
And apparently you guys were both at this game, so you can tell me how true this was, but I hear a lot of Hart fans showed up at that game.
I am so against student sections being on this list, so I can take Harry's place in that. I think they should be off the list completely, both of them.
Well, I think they should both not only be on this list, but on the same line.
You look so shocked right now.
I feel like you're completely just trying to step into Carrie's role as being the antagonist.
He's trying to suck up.
I'm standing up right now, so
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like a charge that's been put in me, you know?
Well, I think both lists. I was the one that made the tweet about the Hart
Which blew up
student
on
section, or the Hart students going to
If Twitter's to be
infiltrate.
believed, yeah.
If Twitter's to be believed, the student sections might should be on this list. All right, we'll run down this list. We'll talk a little bit more about him and where he should go on this list
I bet we will.
in a second.
At Signal Sports Hot 10, brought to you in part by Total Women Gym and Spa. Currently offering no enrollment on spa membership. Contact us at 661-286-0229.
All right, the big reveal. The new Hot 10 list. Incomplete.
Missing some spots there, Vince.
Incomplete. I couldn't figure out what to do with the top of this list. So at the bottom of this list, we haven't talked about any of our major league,
This is the
our
candidates
professional James Shields. Monday night, 10 strikeouts. The Royals get the win. They're now 2.5 games back for the wild card.
Of the playoff berth that you said they have no shot at?
After the playoff berth that I formerly said that they have no
Red
shot
Hawks.
at, now they're after my Texas Rangers. We've also got Davis Copenhaver. We've got Nick Jones. We've got Brady White. And we've got the Canyon defense. So we've got 4 spots, 5 or 6
You
down
haven't
here.
put White number 1 already.
Why is V Nation ahead of the Tribe?
Yeah, from
I
jumping.
didn't. Viking Nation is Hart didn't play last week.
Okay, right.
Viking Nation came to play. They were large. They were very large. They were very loud. I would put them very close to the Tribe. I think that those two are neck and neck right now. It's really hard to.
Can we settle this right here? You guys were both at this game. How many Hart students showed up?
I would say there were quite a few. There were quite a few that were sitting on the Chaminade side, and then they walked over to the Valencia side. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I was working. I was concentrating
you
a
weren't
lot, so I
watching the
didn't
game.
notice the fans. I was watching the game.
I
It sounds like there
completely watching
were
it.
enough there to annoy Viking Nation.
Absolutely.
Which I find impressive.
You find impressive, so you believe the Tribe should be over Viking Nation.
To be honest, as I said, you guys were at the
annoying.
games. I was on Twitter when you tweeted that out, and the buzz wasn't so much either of them, it was them yelling at each other, and I think we should keep that going by putting them on the same line. Let them fight it out and see who's better.
So we could put them on the same line. We could even move them up.
We can move them up.
Maybe
The Tribe
the 3
versus
spot?
Viking Nation.
The 3 spot.
Combine the powers. And
Combine the
If
powers.
you go
so
by
we go
at
3.
Signal Sports, yeah.
So we go the Tribe.
Basically, this is the message to all you student sections out there: be annoying, because we're rewarding them for being annoying,
versus
right?
Viking.
I guess you could put it that way.
Okay.
I would more like to say we're rewarding them for being passionate, but if you want to go annoying.
So there's a fine line.
So they're coming off here. So what do you think about the Canyon defense dropping a little bit to number 6?
I'm okay with that. I mean,
Everyone okay?
They didn't play.
They were off last week, but they're still
They're still
off to a fantastic start to
They
their
still
season.
exist. Yes.
You've got Shane Vereen and James Shields. Who would you rather see on this list?
I mean,
Gotta go. With
I argued for Vereen last week, but I feel like now he comes off the list. He's not playing.
He's not playing. He's not going to play for the next 9
on
weeks.
the physically unable to perform list, and
So
off
James
that
Shields, we'll put him right here. So that leaves us with 3.
game last night.
That leaves us with 3 spots.
Shields.
And basically we have Nick Jones, Davis Copenhaver, and Brady White. Unless you wanted to go with several of the Hart players. Erase
the whole list.
Unless you
Top
want to
10
go
Hart
with
players. Let's go.
Trent Irwin and Connor Wingenroth and the rest of them. So you've got 3 spots. Who goes at number 1?
Not Brady White. I'll just say
Not
that
Brady
right.
White.
He didn't play this week, so he has to drop at least one spot.
I mean, what is this list? Is this list buzz? Is this what people are talking about, or is
This list is not only a 1 week list. This list is a combination of what they're doing this season, along with this particular week and what's buzzing. So it is more buzz than who's best, but at the same time, it's not only for this week. It's kind of an overall list. Last week you said that Brady White's articles, someone said that they didn't get as many hits as Shane Vereen. I look at the analytics on the website a lot. This week, the only thing that's getting more hits than Brady White's national honor from a week ago is crime. And if you know anything about crime, then crime always gets more hits than everything.
Should we put crime on the top 10 list?
Crime could be number one. Maybe we should ask the news department to step in
Crime would always be number one.
Our news reporters agree with this.
You guys are not going to like what I'm about to say, but if this is about buzz and what people are talking about and what's getting interest, I have 3 at 1, I have Nick Jones at 2, and I have Brady White at 3. Yes, I did just advocate for student sections to rise even higher on this list, but that by far was the most talked about thing on Thursday night.
Nick Jones got a lot of when I retweeted about his school record.
Second most, only to the student section fight.
I like Nick Jones. He had a fantastic game. Maybe I feel like this is the place for Nick Jones. I feel like right here is the place for Nick Jones. You can't come from nowhere and all of a sudden be number one. I think you have to prove.
Maybe not against the Chaminade.
He didn't. They still lost the game. So you've got Copenhaver, who had a lot of buzz this week. He's going to Duke. He had a huge game the week before. But maybe him right here.
I would be okay with
But then I guess my problem is who ends up being number one at all this.
There's only one option. There's only one option. At number one, the player.
Likewise, he didn't play.
He didn't play, but there is nobody that's getting more buzz. He's getting tons of regional coverage. Everyone in LA is recognizing that Brady White is on the scene. He's getting more colleges looking at him than ever before. And I think Brady White should move to number one.
If we're going to just solely go by like, okay, how many mentions on Twitter or whatever, just solely go like this, Brady White might be number one the whole season. Like, is that what we want?
I don't think Vince would have a problem.
I don't think so either, but that is the answer to this
I will say, after my 49ers got demolished on Sunday night, the after show where they ranked the top 5 quarterbacks in the Southland did have Brady White on that list. It's not just this valley that's recognizing this kid.
So Brady White, on an off week, moves up to number one.
Are we counting Carey's vote? Because we know it wouldn't be for that.
No, we're not counting Carey's. Just like we didn't count Dan's vote a week ago. And Dan is back. Carey's vote does not count this week. We've got the Tribe versus Viking Nation. We're going to split them at some point, but we're not going to split them.
Well, they're going to split them for us.
They're going to split themselves. Canyon's student section, West Ranch's student section. They've been good, but just not enough to get on this list quite yet. Number one, Brady White.
One thing, by the way, I mean, and I'm not saying top 5. What about AEA? We talked about their first win. Are they nowhere to be found?
I could put Albert Einstein on this list.
As much as I like Saugus Girls Cross Country, I'm taking them off. I'm putting AEA on. That's my opinion.
Saugus Girls Cross Country, they'll see this list again.
Yeah, I'm okay with that for one.
Come November, they'll be all over.
If they're as good as everyone says they are, we'll put Albert Einstein right here.
And we have ignored the Saugus offense.
We have
with no Reed Roop.
But no Reed Roop, it's a little bit hard for me to see who should be on this. Kind of like West Ranch a week ago. Who should be there? It's not Reed Roop because he didn't play last week.
Yeah.
And they did have a game. So maybe Saugus will live to fight another day.
Yeah. We haven't seen a lot of Saugus yet. So they play 4 out of 5 road games to start the season.
I could not be more excited about this list. I think it's a fantastic
I'm on record
list.
as strongly disagreeing
I feel like
with
we've been a little strong-armed into this. I mean, I'm still saying that to me the student section buzzed more than Brady White.
You think so? You disagree with him too?
But you don't think the student section should be here either.
Yeah, I think Nick Jones should be there.
You think
we have a 3-way split.
You think Nick Jones should be here.
I think 1 and 3 should be split.
And you think the Tribe.
I'm firm on Nick Jones being number 2.
I'm firm on Nick Jones being number 2 as well.
So Nick Jones is 2. It's just a matter of who's 1 and who's 3. So
Dan,
if you want to fight with me, we can change this.
Well,
otherwise,
if I have to decide between those two, Brady White.
Brady White, stamp it in.
I guess we're
stamping this in.